Okay, dear Virgos, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing your 2025 general horoscope for all the Virgos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Make sure you check for your Rising first and foremost, and then check your Sun and Moon. I am a Virgo Moon myself, so super excited to see what we have in store for us for the year 2025. Of course, a reminder that this is general, and if you want to know what's happening for you specifically, because something for you could be activating you extra, and some of that might not be exactly relevant for you. This is general. Once again, you are feel free to book your 2025 consultation with me. As of the moment when I'm recording this, there are still spots available. Hopefully, as of the moment when you are watching as well. Links to everything going to be down below. As always, give this video a big thumbs up before we get started. Subscribe. We are almost at 100k, so I will really appreciate your support. And anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. Hey Virgos, of course, the biggest news, of course, have to do with North Node entering Pisces, your 7th house, South Node entering your 1st house. Eclipses shift from Aries and Libra, where they've been since 2023, into Pisces and Virgo, which of course is directly relevant to you. And yes, we are bracing ourselves for this transit, for those eclipses, because eclipses do bring us fated changes. They bring us fated partners, they bring us fated new beginnings, they bring us fated endings. With South Node eclipses, we can sometimes shed our skin. With North Node, there is new activations, of course. You know, there is so much more to say about this. We'll take a look what it could be about for you for the year 2025. And 2025 will also be the year where there will be the last eclipse in Aries for you in your 8th house, which is, again, you know, there is a culmination of some kind of journey. Maybe it was about psychological transformation, shared resources, deep journey within that could have been taking for you in the past few years. There might have been some very deep psychological transformation that has started for you right around the spring 2023, and of course with ingress of the nodes into Aries and Libra in the summer 2023. Actually, as I'm looking back now, again, for me as a moon, this played out more psychologically, but for you, depending if you're a rising sun or moon, it could play out a little bit differently. There was some junk I had to, work through when it comes to my deep psychology. Let's just put it this way. There was definitely a deep psychological transformation, but the good news is that it's over now with this process. Now there is going to be much more focus on self and on your relationships. Maybe for some of you, you had to let go of some fears, of some intimacy blockages, or of some maybe relationships that are not quite balanced. And now there is something here to say with North Node and Pisces in your 7th house, where you might actually open yourself up to a relationship that somehow feels more different, more exotic, the one you did not see coming. You might let go. North Node in Pisces is all about this dreamy energy, having faith again, letting go with South Node in Virgo of maybe ways you criticize yourself. South Node plays out differently in every sign. South Node in Virgo is about letting go of that criticism, whether people who criticize you, or most importantly, as a Virgo, I know this myself, we sometimes are our own harshest critic. We ourselves sometimes don't allow ourselves to fully bloom because we nitpick on ourselves, criticize ourselves, and as a result, at times we attract this kind of people too. Again, it's hard to say here what comes first, chicken, right, or the egg. Sometimes we are criticized heavily and then we become self-judgmental. Other times we are self-critical and we attract critical people. And it's a vicious cycle that we want to break free from. And for a lot of you guys, there will be an opportunity in 2025 to finally break free from that and become more self-accepting. Some of you, a partner who will be somehow very dreamy, very different with Rahu North Node there from your typical type and expectations, so to say, to quote the love romance sensual cards, might enter your life. And this person somehow might push you into accepting yourself more, loving yourself more. Spiritual connection could be, of course, with North Node Rahu, it's sometimes a bit smoke and mirrors. So make sure, you assess your partners well this year. Which I think, is interesting, right? Because North Node is entering your 7th house, but at the same time, we have Saturn and Neptune that's been in your 7th house now for a long time, actually exiting this house and going into your 8th. So I think it's a very interesting interchange of all displacements activating same houses in your chart, but in different ways. A lot of you with Neptune in your 7th house being there since 2012, you might have not seen your partners clearly. Maybe you were longing for unavailable people, soulmate, twin flame, all that stuff that, if you've been following me for a long time, where I stand on this. We had we have a lot to say about this. Usually I don't want to take too much time of 2025 horoscope to talk about this, but yeah, if there was you might have not seen people clearly, maybe there was this longing for a soulmate, for a spiritual connection, and it could be, if I'm honest, it could have brought you quite a lot of heartbreak and disillusionment in relationships, especially when Saturn entered Pisces in 7th house. For a lot of you, it felt very much like Requiem for a Dream type of vibe, shattered reality, where your rose-colored glasses that you were wearing might have been broken at once when you saw the truth of some situation about a specific person, or just about relationships in general, or whatever it was. Saturn brought that harsh, I think, awakening for a lot of you. And for a lot of you, you had to wake up and you had to become much more serious when it comes to relationships. It might have felt very harsh because you really believed and you really thought that you were meant for this romantic love. But again, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I feel like when Saturn, by the way, entered Pisces, for a lot of Virgos, you might have felt like, it's never going to happen. Everything you believed in was a lie. And again, it's like Neptune and Saturn, they are so different, right? Neptune dissolves borders, boundaries, brings these dreamy energies, while Saturn is all about borders, boundaries, standards, structures. So you might have felt like you went from 0 to 100, from one side to another side. And I think what's going to be interesting about this eclipses and North Node entering your 7th house is that, as much as I know it doesn't make any sense to say that North Node will bring you balance, I think because Saturn and Neptune are leaving your 7th house at the time, right, of this ingress, it's going to bring you like almost like a makeover, a do-over of relationships in that specific house in your chart, opening yourself to a different view, opening yourself to maybe a different reality, different type of partner, attracting something completely new, which will help you almost like shift your perception of relationships and what's worth, what's worth giving your time to. Different type of partner could come in that's going to be very different from all the lessons you've learned. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm a Virgo moon. Don't forget that. So that's a big focus of the year 2025. Also, of course, Saturn and Neptune leaving your 7th house will be entering into your 8th house, which has to do with intimacy, deep connections, resources of your partner. So there might be, with Saturn, again, depends whether you're married, single, it will bring you to the surface any kind of issues you have when it comes to investments, when it comes to shared resources, things that you will need to focus on for quite a while to figure out how to improve that area of your chart. Whenever Saturn enters a specific area of our chart for 2.5 years, we are overly focused. We are very focused on that area, and we are working usually hard in that area to make it better. Of course, Neptune in the 8th house is like one of those things. Your spouse might have assets you are not aware of it, or somebody you're dating has certain assets you're not aware of it, or you yourself don't know where some of your assets are. Hopefully it's not the case. It's like those people who have Bitcoin and crypto and they lose their key right to the wallet, or lose your password right to your OpenSea account where you have your NFTs, or different things like this. It's like not being aware even of the assets you have, what's happening with your investments, finances, opportunities at the same time to create different things within shared resources, investments, a cold space, resources of your partner. You might be dating somebody, you might not even be aware this person has all these resources. Then you're getting married to them and you see there's all these different things they have, but maybe they're hiding some of it, or maybe it's not very clear what's theirs, what's not there. Various things like this could be happening. Of course, also Saturn Neptune transit for such a long extended time could show you where you are learning the lessons. And besides, of course, shared investments, it's about trust. It's about trusting. It's about deep intimacy, whether psychological or like physical. So the big activation of that. And what's interesting is right between the Neptune and Saturn ingress into your 8th house, we're also going to have Venus retrograde there in your 8th and in your 7th house, in Aries and in Pisces. So relationship, what resources shared in relationship, issues of trust, intimacy, contracts, all these different things will be a very big part of your 2025 as well. So definitely, definitely an interesting year for you, where yourself are activated and there's a big focus on relationship, trust in your partner or not, things you share with your partner. All these things are going to become very, very important for you in the year 2025, and even longer than that. Now, another important yearly transit, of course, is Jupiter. Jupiter has been in your 10th house since the May of 2024. It's going to stay there till June of 2025, and then it's going to go into your 11th house. So yes, career is important. You still have a few months, 5 months, half a year, right, to make improvements in your career and become somehow maybe more popular. Jupiter in the 11th house always brings blessings when it comes to friends, communities. I remember when Jupiter was in my 11th house, I used to not have any friends, and when Jupiter was in my 11th house 12 years ago, it brought me like I made so many friends. I made connections on levels I could never even dream of, and still to this day I have a lot of those. So Jupiter in 10 and in 11th house will give you growth in society. 11th house is also seen as gains from the 10th house, right? So your career should be gainful during this time. Somehow you might even become more abundant, more prosperous. At the same time, Uranus will enter your 10th house for a long time. It's going to be there through quite a few next years, right? It's going to be there till 2033, if I'm not mistaken. So big changes within career could be, and all of this is coming to the surface, being activated in 2025 because of Jupiter 10 to 11 and then Uranus entering 10. So big year for your career could be, big year for your relationship, for shared resources with a partner. It definitely a big year for Virgos, also with eclipses. And of course, we need to mention, even though this is, probably should have mentioned this in the beginning, Mars retrograde that's happening in your 12th and 11th house in Leo and in Cancer. So again, for a lot of you, you might let go of some old goals. You might become aware of your limitations. You might also become aware of who your real friends are, who are not your real friends are, frenemies, who are people jealous of you or restricting you in some way, and really double down on focusing on those goals, making sure you prepare yourself, so to say, for this next level, for this next chapter of your life. I did make a video for Mars retrograde. Make sure you check that out, because that's where I focus on that now. Another important thing, I guess, of course, is Virgo. You are the sign ruled by Mercury. Mercury will go retrograde 3 times, from February to April in Pisces and Aries, and then from June to August in Leo. Then we'll also have Scorpio, Sag, Mercury retrograde in October to December. So 3 Mercury retrogrades that's going to affect you in different areas of your life. Your relationships, work are going to be affected. Your, things that you might not see yourself clearly might come to the surface, especially with Mercury retrograde in Leo. Scorpio, Sag axis, also things that are important to you when it comes to self-expression, foundation in life. Again, we will make more specific detailed prediction as we go towards those Mercury retrogrades. But I think overall for you, this is the year of big change. This is the year of transformation, of course, with eclipses. I mean, whenever eclipses come to your 1st and 7th house, that is faded changes that could be occurring right now, and I definitely think that's probably the most important part for you. South Node going through your sign will help you shed your old identity, the ways you used to see yourself. Of course, will depend. Rising could be quite literally, physically. You might change. You might go through a big feeling of like you're not who you used to be before. You're this brand new version of yourself, and of course your relationship could influence you a lot right now. It could become a focus of your life even. So yes, Virgos, I'm wishing you amazing 2025. Again, please remember that this is general. In your own individual chart there could be things that could be even contradicting this. Some things could apply more, some things could apply less. If you want to book it, links are going to be down below. We still have availability for 2025 reading. Links for everything are going to be down below. Thank you guys as always so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a big thumbs up, comment, share your stories in the comments, subscribe to my channel. We're almost at 100k as I'm recording this. Hopefully we'll be at 100k soon. Love you all. I'm wishing you the most amazing year 2025. I hope all your dreams come true this year. Everything will be a beautiful change, only to the better. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you. Happy New Year, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.